Okay, it's about 2 o'clock, and hi, glad to see you here. And we are, of course, as I mentioned, we're on week 6, and this is Wednesday the 14th. Now, you have two. I want to make sure we do again the housekeeping and repeat to everybody. Next week is break. There are no classes. And this week on the 15th, a few chapters 7 and 8, that quiz is due, as well as the quiz on chapters 9 and 10 from the Stephen Few textbook. Show me the numbers. Now, as we talked about Monday, we went over some of the fundamentals of databases. What are they all about? We took a look at them. I also made sure that everybody saw the access case number 1 file. They could upload this, or as I had mentioned, there are other files in there they can upload to make sure. Now, as usual, we're kind of working ahead. As you can see, the access cases are 4 of it. The first 4 of them are not due till the 23rd until the 23rd of April. But we're going to take some time here and work through. And again, we're going to work on access case number 1 today. So again, upload this file right here, okay, for your access case 1, or I'll go into the files, okay, and you'll find an access case 1. That is fine. Let's see if we've got any others in here. Access case 1, that one's fine to upload for your access case 1. Let's see what else we got in here. I think I uploaded something on Monday, and let's see here. See if we can find it. I thought I had here Northampton data. Well, it's Northampton, so that may be one of them. And let's see, I thought I'd also put some. So these are files that you can upload for access case number 1. I thought for sure I had loaded some other ones, but again, those are so that you can stay on top of everything. All right, now I'm going to go into the solve it files. All right, and these I will pop down here, and these are the solve it solution files, and I'm going to download that. Okay, it's a zip file. And let's see what we got going on here. All right, now this zip file contains the different cases that we're going to be working on. I think it contains all of them for the textbook, but just generally the ones. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to diminish my browser. Close that off. Okay, and I'm going to diminish that as well. And I'm going to take Jackson Palmer and throw it over here. Pardon me, Northampton, and put it here on my desktop. We should be good. And here it is. This is the one I worked on Monday, access case 1. And let me see if it's still. I thought I uploaded it. I thought I put it and said access case 1 Harmon. So I'm going to upload that file and put it over here just as an insurance file for everybody. Let's see. Yeah, there it is. Access case 1 Harmon Keith. And it should upload. Let's hope. There we go. And so you'll see it. Access case 1 Harmon Keith. You can also use that. You say, well, what's the point? Okay, here's the point. You're doing the workshop. I want you to make sure you have credit, get credit for it. And to do that, you have to upload a file that's been worked. Now, you'll see what we're going to do in the case all right, as we work through it. But I want to make sure you've uploaded, so those uploads are there, so you get credit for having done the workshop. Now, you're welcome to try this, you know, on your own, etc. It's up to you. You know, you're no big deal there. Let me diminish something down here, and I need to do real quickly some real quick work. All righty. I'll move these all over to Zoom. Spring 18. That was from management 3603. All righty, thank you. Now let's I have that file. I have the access file open. I have it down here. Now let's take a look at it. There's some stuff from management science, and we'll open up this access case 1 Harmon, okay? And we'll continue to do a little bit of work on it, okay? Now here's Northampton case 1, okay? And we're going to open this up, and the Northampton case I'd mentioned before, all right? It starts over on page thank you for bearing with me. All right, I think it's 143 if I'm not mistaken. Might as well look at the table of contents and see. Northampton starts over on page 149. I wasn't too far afield. And again, as is the case with all of these different, as is the usual norm or the standard operating procedure for these cases, the authors tell us about the company, okay? And these folks make abrasives for handling wood and metal products. And then we have, they decided that they needed a database, and this person, Delgado, who is the protagonist of our story, is to help them put together a database and to have the elements in it. Now, as we move over to page 151, we start to see the important fields for the prototype system, okay? And what they're talking about here are basically the fields in the table. And let's look at them now. I've altered them a little bit, but we still have everything there. We have and let's go back into the design view, and again, just to kind of get us acquainted with working with this in terms of you know, getting used to navigating through Access and becoming comfortable with the different views. No big deal there. So as you recall, I can come up here and look at the design view if I care to, or I can right click and I can go to the design view. All right, and let's walk through the fields. Now this is important because the fields in a table, okay, in combination create records. But we need to know, what is it I need to know about a transaction, or what is it I need to know about a person, or what is it I need to know about I don't know, another company. A table is designed to capture data about that. And then, of course, as we talked about, we have queries that we use to pull data from those tables. Now, at the end, the last case, we will be relating some tables to each other. Okay, I think we may do it early, but we'll see what we're talking. We'll see what we're talking. You'll see what I'm talking about. Now we're going to start with ID, which is called an auto number. And what this does is this makes sure that in the Northampton table, every single record is unique. You want that so you don't have duplicate records. And you want that to make sure that you capture all the data. You're either going to get everything you want or nothing. And here's how you're going to do that. Now, first of all, on ID, we've got ID. It's a auto number, company, okay? And notice as we come down here into the field properties, okay? I'm going to come down here to field properties, and I'm going to, where it says required, I'm going to put yes. And allow zero link, allow zero length, I'm going to put no. Okay. And I'm going to click indexed. Okay. And I want them to be indexed, and I'll put yes. Duplicates, okay, because we may have multiple records from the same company. Okay. And so we've taken care of the fields for the company. Next, we're going to come down, we're going to do the address. And we're going to do the same thing down here. We're going to make sure it's required. It's stupid to not require the address for these people. Allow zero length, we're going to put no. Index, we want yes. And we can deal with duplicates in terms of addresses. Okay, that company may have multiple. The company may have multiple sites or something like that. So I'm going to work with that. City, same story. It's required. Now, when I make something required, I allow zero length. There'll be no. Indexed, I'm going to do yes. Duplicates are okay. Now, when I do that, if I don't require it, if I require it, then the record won't save unless I have all that data. And I'm going to go down to the state, okay, and that's the general. And I'm going to come down here to state. It's a text, and I'm going to put it required. And they say the format, and let's look at that for just a second. And the general, all right. There we go. I want the field size is what I was after. All right. And on the field size, I'm going to make it 2 because I'm going to use 2 state designators. Now, we talked about the other day about creating, okay, a thing for states, a lookup table. All right. And so I'm going to leave this at 255, which is the maximum. Okay. And let me see where I might have put that. There, I think it's the Excel is for computing table. But we had worked on that. So we're going to leave that here for just now. The zip code, we have an input mask, and zip code is required. We don't need, and allow zero length. No, we do not allow a zero length. That means, and we're not going to do anything else. We're going to have the input mask to control that. The last name, that's going to be required. Allow zero length. No. We want to index it. Yes, and we have duplicates is okay because we have made people the same last name. Then we'll check their first name. Is that required? Yes. There's no reason to have a field in a table if you're not going to collect the data. It's just stupid. I'm sorry to be so blunt, but it really is the truth. You set up a table, and then if you don't use some of these tools, you're just, it's like, Forrest Gump's mama says, stupid is stupid does. Department, we're going to come down here and put that that's required. And we're not going to allow a zero length. And we're not going to index it. I'm a little iffy about that. Unless we want to put duplicates are okay, and I'm a little I'm a little iffy about that. Let's go to product group, and I want that required. Allow zero length, that should be no. You see we're working down here in the field properties, and we're getting the kinds of data that we want. Last order, okay. Required, we want it, okay. And it's index, I'm not going to worry about that because it knows that we're working with date time data. We've put that up here. Okay. Now we could look for a input mask for date and time data. So let's click on this little line that says input mask, and then you'll see a thing over here with a blue tab and the 3 dots. Click it. Now we'll save our table. Okay, yes. And it's going to show us the date input mask, date wizard. And do we want a short date, medium date? What do we want? We're going to do a short date. Okay. And as you can see, it requires us to put it in that format, and we'll click next. And let's see, we'll keep that input mask. Okay. And we'll click next, and we're finished. All right. So we have the input mask for the date. I mean, the last order, date and time. And the order pattern, let's make sure last order is required. Yes. And then the order pattern, it should be required. Okay. Allow zero length. No. We're adding what we call constraints. Okay. And there's no need to deal with the indexing on this. So thus far, we've really cleaned this table up a lot. Okay. Let's go up top now to the data view and take a look at it. And we'll save the table. And it says we've changed some rules. Well, I'm aware of that. Sure. Okay. Now, notice that everything here, you know, we had the zip codes, and those are all required. Okay. Now, I like on the phone numbers, let's scroll over here to product groups. We've got those. Okay. And I want to do something here. I want to go back in to the design view, and I'm going to go back to the date. Pardon me, the last order, which is a date and time. And I'm going to try it. And I'm going to try, I'm going to see what this looks like without it in there. Okay, now I'm going to view, it's going to ask me to save it. Say, yeah, save the table. And we still have them, we have them in those formatted views. So let's go back there and look at that again. Now, it's in a date and time. And let's go look at the input mask. Let's do medium date and see what that looks like. Again, this is just a matter of how the thing's going to look. And then we'll go upstairs and take a gander at it. The main thing is that it looks good. There's the problem. All right, it's that. Let's go to the input, and we're going to put short date. And placeholder characters. Let's see what we got here. And I'm going to try 0704, July 4th, 2018. That's a good 2018. So it looks like. Try 009. And it's telling me the data I've entered. Oh, okay. I'm going to cancel that. Let's go back up here and see. Let's do the short date again and see how it's going to look. You can see we can get ourselves hung up with this, but I want to make sure it looks nice. We'll go next and we'll finish. We'll go up here. The last order, that's fine. That's good. Those look nice. All right, now let's go up and look at zip code. Again, this is just, one of the things we want to do is to make sure that we don't have garbage in and garbage out. So let's go up and look at the zip code. I'm going to try this 74804. This is the zip code 74804. And if I want the other digits, I click next. I know with the symbols in the text, we'll click next and we'll finish. Let's go up and take a gander at it. Okay. Now we're good, because if we need to add the other 4 digits on that 6-digit zip code, we're in good shape. And this input mask makes sure, okay, that I put the zip codes in a uniform way, and I put in the last order. Now I'm going to go over and add a couple of other constraints, and we're going to go down and we're going to put a validation text into the product group. So let's click on enter, and we're going to have the product group, and you're going to see a thing that says validation rule. Okay, now here is where we can add in and say that it must be, it must be G, S, or O, okay, and then a validation text, that tells us what that looks like. And we can do that, and I think what we'll do, let's see, how am I going to do that with those numbers? There's an easier way to get that, to do that, and that's to create a product group menu. And we see product groups down here. Let's click on this for just a minute and open it up. Very good. Good. Now what I'm going to do, all right, and I'm gonna close this. And I'm back here to my table for Northampton. Let's go down into the design view, and for product group, okay, we're going to click lookup. And we see, now let me show you this. This is what we call lookup. We've used a lookup table, and what we've done is we've used the we've done basically a query that comes over to the product group, okay, and it describes and it helps us put in the right a valid symbol. Let's go back up to the view and I'll show you what I'm talking about, okay? if I click here, I get a drop-down menu. Now the drop-down menu tells me, what symbol to use, okay, for what type of product. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and try to close this. And I'm going to show you something. This is why we want requirements. I'm going to try to close this. I'll put yes, and it says you must enter event in the company field. Okay, I'm going to put something in the company field, and it says we can't save the record because if I just do that, I could end up with an incomplete record, and we don't want incomplete records. We want the records to be completely correct. Now I'm going a little bit beyond what the text said, because I believe that the first thing you got to do is make absolutely certain about the about the data you have in your table. One, that you need it, and two, that you're going to use it. Now I don't know if we have a lookup for the states, and we don't. I think I had created one, but what you could do would be to go and get you could get create a table and then run a query on it. And let's see. Tell you what we're going to do here, folks. I'm going to diminish down this access file for a sec, and I'm going to go over and open a new. Let's look and see if I had added states data. Because I thought I might have. And we'll just create the lookup table. Now you can see why I said it's going to will take a little bit of time. All right, I'm going to do a fresh tab here. I'm going to go into Google and okay. And these are state abbreviations for the United States. And let's see what we got. All righty. I'm going to try something here. I'm going to start here with the state and the standard abbreviation. In fact, I'm going to get the whole malarkey here, this whole table. I'm going to copy it down to Wyoming. And Control C. And then I'm going to open up Excel. Okay. This is called data wrangling. And I'm going to click paste special text. And I'm going to click OK. Ah, very good. All right. Now, I don't want the capital cities, so I'm just going to delete that column of data. Okay. And I'm going to eliminate that. And I'm going to eliminate this as well. And I'm going to put state. Okay. And so we see it's the state and the abbreviation. All right. And now I'm going to save this file on my desktop. Okay. And I'm going to save it. Let's put it up here. See for a second. Desktop. And this would be state abbrev. fact, I'm going to put it state abbreviations. Okay. Now I'm going to save it as an Excel workbook. Okay. And I've got all the states, all 50 of them, with the abbreviation. Okay. Now I'm going to close that. Make sure I save it to my desktop. And then I'm going to close it. All right. Now we're going to do something. Okay. I have my Access open. All right. And I'm going to click on External Data. Okay. And then I'm going to click Import Excel Spreadsheet. And I'm going to go find that spreadsheet. Part of the thing about databases, and the reason I'm doing this is just so that you understand, we need to populate it, and there are some times when we may have to create tables, or like that one Excel, or I have that one Excel says Excel is for computing, and we're going to click OK. And first row has column headings. We'll click OK. And we're going to click Next. And it'll say, do we want to add a primary key? And we'll go ahead and let it. Why not? And we'll click Finish. All right. Now, let's look and see if we can find our table. And here's this thing that says Sheet 1. And I'll bet that's it. Let's open it up. And there it is. And I can close it. And we're going to rename it. And we just click on rename and we'll call it State of Breeds. State of Breeds. Okay. So far we're good there. State of Breeds. Now let's go down in the design view in Northampton, and we'll click Design View. And I'm going to click on State on the field. Now we're going to do another. We're going to generate a lookup. We're going to use the lookup table, and I'm going to click Lookup. And then I'm going to click on the combo box. It'll say the row source type table query. Okay. And then I'm going to click down here in row source and see the little button with the 3 dots. Boom. Now I'm going to come find that table that we created, State of Breeds. I'm going to click Add. Okay. And I'm going to get the abbreviation and the state. And I'm going to run it. Now, yeah, I want the abbreviation out there in front of it. So I'm going to click OK. I say, OK, yeah, we're good. And there you'll see the SQL. And now we've created a lookup table for the states. So let's go up to the view, datasheet view, excuse me. We'll save the table. And this is what we call data integrity for a very simple reason. And so now, of course, and what did I do here? Let's see. Oh, I'm going to go back down to the design view. And I'm going to put in column headers, no, column count, column widths. And I'm going to put 1 inch, semicolon, 2 inch. And go upstairs. I'll save it. And I think now I'll get the effect I want. I'll get the drop down menu. And so I can work on this. Okay. And not getting what I want here. Unless I've not stretched it far enough. No, let's go back down for a second. Oh, here's the problem. Column count should be 2 instead of 1. The bound column and then the column count. Okay, I'll make us save that. Now we should be good to go. There's our drop-down menu, okay? And then if I come down here, you can see I have my alphabetized list, and I'm good. So I've created a drop-down menu, okay? Again, this is just to make sure it's easy to put the data in, and I eliminate as many potential mistakes as I want. Of course, you know, I can close this back. Now I also have the zip code, the input mask. I have the product group. That one, I think that one, yeah, that one has a. And we have the last order and the order pattern. Let's see if we did one for that, and we did. So now we have a pretty good table. Let me show you what we've got here. We have a table of all of our customers, who they are. Each record is unique. Okay, we have their addresses, and we have their city and their state and the zip code. All right, we have the last name and the first name. We have the departments, and then we have some things called slowly changing dimensions, our product group, and that's got a drop down menu to help. I have the order, I can put that in, and the order pattern. Okay, same story there. So now we have a pretty good little table. Not bad at all, my friends. So I'm going to close the table. Well, let's create a record. And this will be, we have Kruger Company, okay? And there you can see them. They're there at 666 Elm Street, okay? And let's see, let's make this, let's see. Let's make this Kim. No, I don't want Kim Jong Young. Let's do well, I don't know. Yeah, let's just let's make this OBU. We'll put Oklahoma Baptist. All right, and the address is 500 West University. And that's in Shawnee, Oklahoma. And then I'm going to come over here, and I know I'm looking for, okay, the zip code field. All right, I know I'll do that. And that one will be Oklahoma, Oklahoma, Oklahoma. Okay. And then the zip code, excuse me, right over here I start is 74804. And that is going to be Whitlock. David. And he's the president. And the let's see, the product group that he uses, let's see, he uses other refinishing supplies. And the last order was, let's put it, let's say it's 3. Okay. And today is the 14th, so we'll put 3/14/2009. Okay, and the order pattern is stable. Now, if I had not entered stable there, it wouldn't let me save the record. So I have to have everything here. Notice how it jumped forward with the new. This is number, it should be 27 because it's an auto number. That's strange. Well, at least it's new. I'm not sure what happened there. Why we may have inadvertently jumped when we had a 27 that wouldn't save. Yeah. One of the features in here, I forgot to mention this, is when I do the now in Access, when I do an auto number, if I create an unsaved record, it will jump to the next number. So I can see here I have a number that I jumped. So I'm at 28. All right, so I have ID number 28. Now, I'm going to close this off. Say the table is yes. And now we're ready to do some work. Now let's go back in here and open this back up. So we'll go back to Northampton. And we're going to open it up. Now, we've done everything in terms of the case that they want us to do. We've even gone beyond. We've created drop-down menus. And if I want to, I can go ahead and shutter this back so I can see the whole thing. Okay, that's not a big deal. In fact, I want to do that maybe. There's the navigation pane. And I can always just, for visual acuity, I can always squinch these over so I can see everything. So we'll do that. Okay. And we're in good shape. Now, we have the order patterns, etc. We have everything we need to do. Now, in the textbook, and that's pages 151 and 152, they wanted us to create all of this stuff, okay? And again, one of the things that they ask us, and this is at the page 152, task 7, can you produce product groups? Most certainly, okay? Now we've got the product group, okay? And if we want to, and they say, could you, General Electric has G10, S20, etc. That's a pretty simple proposition, okay? Because all I'm going to do is this. I'm just going to, I'm going to go ahead and diminish this down, all right? And I'm going to close it off. Yes, I'll do the navigation pane. And I'm going to go over there and look at product. Now I have a products table. Okay. Now these are not for that they're not for that case. But this product group, we can open it up, and it's simple. We can just start to add in new products and the description. And so that issue there in terms of page 152, they buy more at G10, all that easily, okay? We can add to the product group table, okay? And we could even start to identify who is the vendor who provides that. Okay, so we're in good shape there. No problem whatsoever. And we'll close this off. So we've done, and remember, this case has been all about making tables. Okay, so that's just the first piece of it. Now, one of the things they ask us to do, okay, is to print. They ask us to do some editing, and so we'll go back in here for just a second. Now, before I do this, let's go back and click on Northampton. And we're going to make it a lot easier to enter data. I'm going to click Create. Okay. And I'm going to get a form, more forms, and I'm going to choose let's see, I think I'm going to do a split form, and you'll see why. Now here's a form. A form, as we talked about the other day, is a way for me to input data into a table, okay, that is less tedious than normal. Now I'm going to scoot that on over there. And so we'll come down here, okay, and we have each of these fields, okay. And you can see we've got the data entered. And the advantage of this split form is that I can see how the table changes as I put in data. And as I put in data, okay, the table this will add data to the table. Okay, so this is a really nice little tool. In addition, I can use it for searching. I can navigate. I can input new records, and this is just more intuitive, okay, than what we might be dealing with. So let's put in a new blank record. All right, and I'm going to put in the last name. The company will be, I don't know, Google. And let's see, it's going to want me to put, I guess it's going to ask me to put the data in there on the split form. So I'm going to put, this will be Google. And we can put the address, which is 400 Smart Street. And this is in OKC, Oklahoma. And the zip code, let's make that zip code 73110. And okay, and I need to put a last name in here, and I'll get there. Okay. And this will be, I'll just call it Sergi. And the first name is Alexi. I don't know what their, I forget their names. And he is the CEO. Okay. And he buys, the product is grinders. And his last order was, let's see, November 19th, 2008. And the order pattern is decreasing. Okay. And now I've got my new record. All right. So I've saved it. Okay. Now I'm going to go back to the first record. And then let's just scroll down here and see, did we change the table? Yes. Now, to test this out, and again, you can see this is just intuitively much easier to work with. Now, I'm going to size this down, and I'm going to close this table. And say I want to change, yes. I'm going to call it Northampton. And we'll do the navigation page. And let's go up now into Northampton case 1 and see if it added that new record. And it did. So you see the form is there to help is there to make it easier to add data to the table. But the nice thing is I can see the whole table as I'm working on it. I can see above what I'm inputting. So we use that split form, okay? And there are other types of forms that you can use. I like this one if you're going to have to use them, okay? So we've gone a little bit about what the authors ask us to do, but not bad. We've made some progress. And the key thing, of course, is that we have, we've ensured, as to the extent possible, the integrity of our data by those things that can be pre-formatted, like state, like zip code, okay, product, last order, and order pattern. We used lookup tables. We used input masks to get that done. Okay, so we've done that part so far with the Northampton case. Now, one of the things they asked us to do there said Delgado's traveling to Kansas City. This is the middle of page 152 to meet Jack Stellmeyer at Martin Mechanics and wants to know where other clients in Kansas City. So they send create a query and print a listing of all clients in Kansas City. And should include these fields: company, client, first and last names, and title. Okay, well, let's close Northampton. And we're going to go down to this thing called Kansas City Clients, and let's open it up. And here we have the company, the first name and the last name. We don't have titles. Let's go down to the design view, okay? And we put the city in, but we didn't get the titles. So we need to do that. And we've got their cities, their last name, their department. And instead of titles, let's try department. Okay. And now let's go up and take a look at the query. And okay, good. All righty. Now, if we wanted to if we wanted to see, do we have any CEOs, we could put this. We'll see what we get. Probably an empty set, yeah. But then like, let's put president and run it. Do we have any presidents? No. So we've got what we've got, and there they are. Now notice again that we have Kansas City, but we suppressed the output of it by unclicking here, and that means that we won't have Kansas City beside every name. Okay, and now I might want one other piece of information here, and I'm going to choose the order pattern. In fact, I'm going to do the last order and order pattern because I want to see what this looks like. Okay. So now I've gone a little bit beyond the book, okay, in terms of what data we have. And since we call this Kansas City clients, we don't have to have, we use this field, but we hide it. Okay. So we've done it. We've created a form. We've beefed up this this query on the Kansas City clients, and then we come to this part where they say, well, they want us to print out a report. Now there's a report down here called Northampton Case 1, and I'm going to open it up. All right, and I'm just going to tell you right now. The report, as I've said before, I hate the report function. And I think it's very clunky. And you can use the report to generate a report. You can use the report wizard. You'll see it over there, and you can input your fields. And we'll be doing a little bit here or there, but we have such they patterned these by last order, and then last order, then order pattern. And that saved space, and then the company, the city, the first and last name of the person. And that way we could keep the size, we could keep the output decent. But again, I'm not too much of a fan of the report, although you can do it. But with as much stuff as we've got, if you want everything, then you're talking about a lot more space that's taken up. Okay. Now, this is Northampton Case 1, and I want to close this report off. And we also do a report on the Kansas City clients, so we'll open that up. There we are. Yeah, no big deal. But one thing that we did do that I wanted to bring to your attention is when we imported the data, okay? And we imported those state abbreviations as a lookup table so we could continue to control the input, and that's why we had a unique ID for each record so we could control that input. Now, also want again to emphasize a little bit here in terms of Excel is for computing. Let's open that up. Okay, this is where we have an ID and some employees and their hourly rates and their gross pay. Okay, and you'll see we've got some figures in there that we should have done. Let's do an expression, and we'll go down to the design view. Oh no, this is a table, isn't it? Okay. Yeah, and we didn't do the computations for it. All right. Well, I think what we'll do, this is just a hair ahead of where we are, but we'll do one expression. Let's close this off. Let's click Create and Query Design. And we want to get Excel is for computing. Okay, and we've got that file. And I want the ID, the month, the ID, the last name, the hours worked, the hourly rate, the gross pay. I have that. And then I want to do, I want to get a figure for the federal tax. And so I'm going to write some expressions. Okay, now again, Excel is for computing, but we'll do it. I'll show you a couple of these and we'll just do them and then cut them and paste them in. So I'm going to put federal withhold, okay, colon. I'm going to put in brackets and I'm going to spell it exactly. And we're going to say the federal withholding is the gross, federal withholding, pardon me, is gross pay, okay? And that's going to be gross pay times, I don't know why, let's call it 4%, okay? I'm going to copy and paste this. I'm going to copy it, and then I'm going to paste it here as an expression. And I'm going to take a look. And there it shows me the federal withholding, okay, for this employee. You say, could I do that for the state withholding? Yeah. And it would just, and basically, I could do this. I'm going to copy this. Well, come down here and I'm going to paste it in here. And this will be state with, and this is going to be my state withhold. Withhold will be the gross pay times 0.025. Okay? When we create expressions, we have to be careful and make sure. We'll go into the design view and we'll come over here. Okay? And I'm going to take a gander and go up. There's our state withholding. All right. And then I have, I think I have FICA. So I'm going to do and this will be FICA withhold. And this is Social Security. That's 14%. 14% if I'm not mistaken. I forget. I'll go over here. And there's my FICA withholding. And I'm going to come back down here and I'm going to get net pay. I'm going to get total tax. So I'm going to get total withhold is going to be bracket federal withhold, okay, plus state withhold, and we'll put that state withhold within brackets, plus, then a bracket, FICA withhold. We're doing it. You can see how tedious this is, and now you can see, now you're seeing for sure why I say Excel is for computing. So the total withhold is federal withhold plus state withhold plus FICA withhold. I need to make sure that I have those all spelled correctly, and they're inside of brackets. I'll just go ahead and delete, bring that back up. And now we're ready, and I'm going to copy this, and then I'm going to put it into the expression bar, a blank one. And let's see what we get. And we get the total withholding. There we go. Now we can do the net pay. So we'll go back down to the design view. And I'm going to go back to my note, and I'm going to call this take home. In other words, take home. I'm going to call it take home pay, in fact. And that's going to be gross pay. See, I'm just, okay. That's going to be gross pay minus bracket total withhold. And so we've done an expression. Okay. And now I think we're ready. And we'll go back in here and find another, go to the next blank. Pop that in, and let's run it. And there we are. Now I'll scoot this over for just a second. We use expressions to calculate their federal withholding, their state withholding, their FICA withholding, total withholding, and take-home pay. Okay? And we're going to call this, I'm going to call this query, I'm going to save it as let's call it if you had fun with expressions. And we pop that navigation pane back out. And there we're going to see fun with expressions. And we'll open that jewel up, and there we are. And then we can go back down, take a look at the design view, and you'll see what we've done. Okay, well, folks, listen. I think we've done our time for today, and I appreciate the two of you who stayed here, or the one of you who stayed here. God bless you. And for all the rest of you who'll be watching this, I I'm going to close this off, okay? And I think it was that, get rid of those for a minute. And I think it was that file that I was working on, Northampton. And we'll put in all objects. No, it's not. Where is that? The access case 1 Harmon. Is that the one? Let me open this up and I'll see, and I'll know. Yep, that's the one. So I'm gonna upload this one, access case 1 Harmon, over here into the files, and I'll find it. So we've done some more work. I'll say I'm going to replace it, and you can use this one to upload for access case number 1. Okay, and let's see if it'll upload. It's probably going to be slow, take its time. And case 1, okay, and we just did. Very good. Now again, I'll go over here to the syllabus real quickly to remind you. Don't forget this this case I just uploaded. You want to go find there in the syllabus where access case 1 is due, and you'll want to upload it. All right, so that you've got that out of the way. Here they are. And now, what's coming up? Okay, you've got the 15th, which is tomorrow. You have these 2 quizzes. Those are due by 5 p.m. Okay? Everybody have a safe and healthy break, and I will see you guys. Let's see, this is Wednesday. Okay, so I will see all of you the first Monday when we're back from school. Thanks much, and take care.